The biggest team, the most local news coverage, live from Denver. This is Fox 31 News at 3. We're on it.
And we thank you so much for joining us here on the inaugural edition of the Fox 31 News at 3 o'clock. I'm Matt Morrow.
And I'm Talia Cunningham. So glad you could join us this afternoon. We do want to start with Pinpoint Weather meteorologist Liz McGiffin. Liz, you are tracking some active thunderstorms out there right now.
Oh, yeah. Some pretty widespread areas of rain, the thunder, the lightning. At this point, not watching for much in the way of a severe threat. Usually even some hail, and I'll pinpoint hour by hour when this round of thunderstorms moves out and when the heat moves back in your full forecast coming up.
All right, keep us posted on the storms, Liz. Let's get to breaking news right now. That's right. Breaking news right now on the Fox 31 News at 3 o'clock. What is left after a large fire? We believe it is at a home or an outbuilding in Boulder County. Some kind of a structure fire here. This is off of Lookout Road in the 11,000 block. Sky Fox over the scene. Firefighters, you see them on the scene right there, have gotten the fire out. It appears to be something that is next to a large home right there. Lookout Road is closed right now because of crews on scene as they try to figure out exactly what sparked this fire, mop it up, and make sure that there are no hot spots. You see that large burn area right there on the land. Thankfully, it didn't jump the road or catch any of those trees or any more of the brush on fire. Again, this appears to be next to the main home right there, potentially an outbuilding. We'll keep you posted here on the Fox 31 News at 3 as we learn more about this. We have a crew headed there on the ground as well. Meanwhile, right now at 3 o'clock, at least 30 people, including several members of the Tren de Aragua gang, are now facing federal drug trafficking, firearms offenses, and other charges, including murder for hire after a months-long undercover investigation based right here in Colorado.
And today, U.S. Attorney for the District of Colorado, Peter McNeely, said 30 individuals and gang members are facing several charges, including firearms trafficking, drug trafficking, and a murder for hire plot. And we know this investigation started about 10 months ago, and McNeely said the people who offered to commit these murders were the same people who were committing crimes in the troubled Aurora apartment complexes, where several crimes have been reported for over a year now.
TDA has brought its terrorism to the United States. TDA is real, it is dangerous, and we have made prosecuting TDA a priority in the District of Colorado.
The investigation also led to the seizure of 69 guns and pounds of narcotics. That's according to McNeely there. The Drug Enforcement Agency Rocky Mountain Division Special Agent in charge, David Oleski, says multiple kilo quantities of pink cocaine, also known as 2C, were confiscated along with meth, fentanyl, and cocaine.
Well, switching gears here, new here at 3 o'clock. CU Buffs heading back to class this week, and today is really a big move-in day for students, especially freshmen, heading back into their dorm rooms.
It's also the start of some new safety changes on campus. Courtney Fromm was able to talk with the new CU police chief. She joins us live in Boulder with the very latest from there. Courtney?
Yeah, definitely a hot day to be moving in. A lot of these families have been out here since around 9 o'clock, moving those bins and getting up into their dorms. But like you said, I spoke with the new chief of police here. The big focus this year is safety. And she says over the next few months, they're going to be rolling out a lot of different protocol to ensure these students are safe. Fox 31.
An exciting day up there in Boulder. Courtney, thank you. All right, now, President Donald Trump is vowing more changes could be on the way to the U.S. election systems. Based on the Constitution, though, there may be little he can do on his own. Today, he pledged on social media and at a news conference from the White House that he would do away with both mail voting, which remains quite popular and used by about 1/3 of all voters nationwide, more than 90% here in Colorado. And he says he would do away with voting machines, some of which are used in almost all of the country's thousands of election jurisdictions. The president also promised another executive order to, quote, help bring honesty to the 2026 midterm elections. I'll dive much deeper into this coming up on the Fox 31 News at 4 and 5.
And this afternoon, we are learning a staff member at Pikes Peak Cog Railway was assaulted on Saturday. Police say that person is now in critical condition and remains in the hospital. Manitou Springs police tell us the employee was assaulted in the railway parking lot around noon. One man and one woman were located and have been investigated. Police did not tell us whether they were directly involved or not. Right now, they are asking anyone who witnessed the assault or possibly caught it on camera to contact police immediately.
All right, now Air Canada flights remain suspended for another day after the airline says it's pushing to restart flights by tonight. Air Canada says a planned resumption of service on Sunday afternoon was scrapped when the union representing flight attendants refused to comply with the federal government's return to work order. The strike began Saturday morning, resulting in the cancellation of 700 daily flights after months of negotiations reached an impasse. The biggest issue has been the union's demand for compensation for the time spent on the ground between flights and when helping passengers board planes. Attendants are largely paid only when the plane is moving. Air Canada says there were nearly 250 flights set to take off yesterday, all of which were canceled.
Well, we've been trying to get through on the phone to Air Canada to try and rebook our flights. Been looking online. There's nothing available. We can't get through on the phone.
All right, the airline did not say whether full service would resume or if some flights would remain canceled. Meanwhile, let's take a live look out of Denver International today, where there is now a ground delay just issued by the FAA that is set to last until 8 o'clock tonight. Flights are being delayed for about an hour on average. The reason? Thunderstorms in the area, the ones that Liz just talked about. By the way, at last check, there were 227 delays, 17 cancellations. 12 of those cancellations are directly due to that Air Canada strike.
We'll keep a close eye on the skies right here on Fox 31. Meanwhile, Hurricane Erin turning north after battering the Caribbean islands this weekend, spreading dangerous conditions across the East Coast.
And President Donald Trump and Ukraine's president holding a meeting in D.C. today, the first time they've met in person since that contentious Oval Office face-off back in February. We'll give you the latest from D.C. coming up. Now it's time to take a look at time-saver traffic as rush hour across the metro is starting up right now. Here's a look at I-25 at 58th Avenue. Traffic moving quite well so far, as it seems to be the case across most of the metro. We'll keep you posted and be right back here on the Fox 31 News at 3 o'clock. Stay there.
For over 2 decades, Fox 31's chief meteorologist Dave Fraser has been the calm during Colorado storms.
Snow is coming sideways.
From blizzards to blue skies, he's guided us through it all. Now, the Heartland chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences has honored him with one of its highest awards, induction into the prestigious Silver Circle. Fox 31's Dave Fraser. He's on it.
All right, happening today, Russia conducting overnight drone attacks in Ukraine's second largest city, killing at least 6 people. It's another scene of destruction in Kharkiv today, where several buildings have been severely damaged. You see one of them right here. At least 20 people were hurt in this attack. Russia's defense ministry says they intercepted nearly 24 Ukrainian drones over Russian regions, including the annexed Crimean Peninsula overnight. And at least 17 people are hurt in Ukraine in a separate Russian attack. According to local emergency services, the attack on Zaporizhia today damaged residential buildings, businesses, and a public transport stop. Ukraine's air defenses say that Russia launched 4 ballistic missiles and about 140 decoy drones at Ukraine, that they were able to intercept 88 of them total.
Well, meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in the nation's capital today, meeting with President Donald Trump to discuss a path for ending the war in Ukraine. Zelensky arrived at the White House just this afternoon. You see images of that right here. And many of Europe's leaders also in Washington, D.C., including the leaders of Italy, France, and England, for talks on finding peace. So President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Donald Trump expressed hopes that talks could lead to a trilateral negotiation with Russian President Vladimir Putin to stop the war between Ukraine and Russia that has been underway for more than 3 years now. Today's swiftly assembled meeting comes after President Trump met with Russian President Vladimir Putin just this past Friday, saying the responsibility is now on Zelensky to agree to concessions that could end the war. Now, Trump said that he would back European security guarantees for Ukraine, though stopped short of committing U.S. troops to the effort.
But we're going to work with Ukraine, we're going to work with everybody, and we're going to make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long-term. This is very long-term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace and then we end up in this mess again. We're going to make sure that everything's good. We'll work with Russia, we're going to work with Ukraine, and we're going to make sure it works. And I think if we can get to peace, it's going to work. I have no doubt about it.
Now, President Donald Trump now maintains that an overall peace agreement, not a ceasefire, is what's needed to end Russia's invasion. The president also said that Putin is expecting a call following today's meeting. Well, switching gears, Hurricane Erin is once again a very powerful Category 4 storm, re-strengthening overnight after pummeling parts of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands.
All right, take a look at some of the damage right here. Wind gusts as high as 130 miles per hour, knocked out power to nearly 150,000 people, while the heavy rains flooded roads and forced cruise ships to be rerouted. From there, Erin is tracking north, prompting tropical storm warnings for Turks and Caicos in the southeastern Bahamas. The storm is not expected to make landfall in the U.S., but it could stir up dangerous surf and rip currents along the East Coast this week. Adair County, North Carolina, officials are declaring an emergency and ordering evacuations for part of the Outer Banks, with forecasters warning of waves potentially reaching 20 feet high.
As these waves come and strike the coast, all that energy is going to break with these big breakers at the coastline, and that's going to increase the rip current risk significantly through the week.
All right, Erin is the 5th named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, which lasts through November. All right, and apparently we're just learning now that the Cherry Creek School District just announced lightning delays for buses across the district.
Yeah, Liz, I know you're tracking radar right there. How active are you seeing in that area right there? We see a lot of yellow. That means lightning.
Oh, yeah. And on top of that, you probably saw a brand new scroll out in Adams County for a new severe thunderstorm warning for hail up to the size of a quarter, some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And, of course, it's extremely active out there, especially off to the east of I-25. Do you want to zoom in and show you within the last hour where some of those thunderstorms have really started to get going from Highlands Ranch out toward Bennett? As we keep looking off to the east, it's going to be Bennett off toward Byers. This yellow box, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. That's for hail up to about the size of a quarter or 1 inch in diameter. And on top of that, some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which is going to be strong enough to be damaging. And there's a lot of lightning with this system, which lets us know that it's an environment where it can continue to grow and create some issues. By the time we hit the airport, we may not have the rain, the thunder, and lightning, but those delays that we were telling you about just a little bit ago out by DIA, they're due likely to this thunderstorm just off to the east of Bennett. Do want to point out as well, it's going to be off to the east of Denver, off toward Aurora, especially where we have some of those heavier pockets of rain. But as far as the movement of these storms, they are going to keep pushing their way off to the east. I'm keeping my eye on another thunderstorm, this time producing hail up to the size of baseballs as we look off toward the Lyman area, pushing east on 70 toward Flagler. Also want to just show you the size of this long area from areas east of Colorado Springs down into Fountain, Callahan, pushing off toward Flagler, or we just have a lot of that rain, thunder, and lightning. You notice that even bigger area of white pretty much sitting right between areas like Hugo into Flagler. This is where we have that severe thunderstorm warning for hail, not only the size of quarters, but up to baseball-sized hail going to be possible with this storm. The alert on this, or that severe thunderstorm warning, goes until at least 3:30, and likely based on that signature on the radar with that big area of white, it'll continue on until these thunderstorms dissipate. Keep an eye, especially off to the eastern plains, northeastern parts of Colorado. Today, you're under that slight risk, or that level 2 on a scale of 1 to 5 for exactly the threats that we were just talking about, for strong damaging wind gust, hail up to the size of quarter to baseball size. That's going to be possible until we approach sunset. So throughout your evening commute, rain, thunder, lightning going to be huge issues for us. And I want to show you the contrast of the temperature that can happen from rain-cooled air. We're sitting at 78 degrees toward DIA, a sure sign that we have the rain and thunderstorms in the area close to that sensor. And then where we're dry toward downtown Denver, we have the dark clouds like what you can see with the Baxton Schenker sky camera, but significantly more heat. We're talking temperatures in the 90s and stronger wind gusts closer you get to those thunderstorms. Consistently out by DIA, those winds are between 20 and 25 miles per hour, with gusts anywhere from 35 to 45 miles per hour as we go from Denver down into the Parker area and off to the east toward Bennett. As soon as you get closer to that severe thunderstorm, remember I mentioned the potential for 60-mile-per-hour gust. We're nearly at that marker by that sensor by Lyman and that big purple area. That's where we have those severe thunderstorms rolling through, not only producing those 50 to 60-mile-per-hour gusts, but on top of that, large hail. And heat is a big fuel for thunderstorms. You'll notice Hudson, Fort Morgan, into Sterling. Here's where we have temperatures in the 90s, already seeing some of the rain-cooled air from Julesburg into Lyman. Lyman in particular, significant drop down into the 60s. And as we head throughout the rest of your evening, temperatures do generally start to trend back down into the 80s. As we look ahead to the next few hours, we go from 4 o'clock, where thunderstorms essentially still where they are now, off to the east of the Denver metro, moving north and east, so Fort Morgan, Sterling, Julesburg. 6 to 8 o'clock, that'll be when the thunderstorms clear out for you. And then as we look ahead ahead to the day tomorrow, gradually waking up from temperatures in the 60s and then working our way back up to highs in the lower 90s. So pretty similar to what we saw today. I'm keeping an eye on another warming trend heading our way. We're talking about temperatures that could be in the upper 90s again come Thursday, ahead of more showers and thunderstorms by the weekend. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Colorado. Fox 31's Afternoon News is Colorado's most watched afternoon newscasts. #1 at 3:30, 4, and 5 p.m. We're on it.
We're back with new info. A woman charged with selling Matthew Perry the ketamine that killed him has agreed to plead guilty. Jasmine Sanga becomes the 5th and the final defendant charged in the overdose death of the Friends star to strike a plea deal agreement with federal prosecutors. The deal means the 42-year-old will avoid a trial that had been planned for September. Prosecutors cast Sanga as a prolific drug dealer who is known to her customers as the ketamine queen. According to court documents, she sold Perry 25 vials of ketamine 4 days before he died from an overdose of the drug.
Well, turning now to a Fox 31 health alert this afternoon. Today marks World Breast Cancer Research Day, with an estimated 300,000 women diagnosed every year in the U.S. alone. Medical experts say it is important to realize there's not just one type of this disease. A doctor at Texas A&M University is studying the risk of postpartum breast cancer. Now, he says these are cancers that happen in women who have had children, generally in their mid to late 30s. He's trying to learn why it can be more aggressive compared to other cancers and why some treatments are not proving effective against it.
For ER-positive metastatic breast cancer or hormone receptor-positive breast cancer, there are 2 types of treatment that usually are utilized. What we're finding is in those women that have this type of cancer, those treatments usually do not work.
Well, he says the risk for breast cancer rises the older a woman is when she has her first child. But with more people having children later on in life, experts say women in this risk group should be actively talking to their doctor. Well, switching gears, many people who travel fear the cleanliness or lack thereof when it comes to hotel rooms.
Most definitely. And it turns out you might want to be more concerned about the cleaning before you even get your room key. Here's the crew from Daybreak Plus with that story.
Hey there, here's what's got us talking today on Daybreak Plus. Remember that song, Welcome to the Hotel California?
Oh, I do know that one.
Yeah. But what's the dirtiest place in the Hotel California?
Okay, we're going to give our opinions. Ready, set, go.
Elevator button.
I'm going to go the front desk.
The doorknob to open it up, the front door.
You said the front desk employee.
Well,
you can't change your answer.
That was the second, dirty.
It's a big story this morning. A new survey comes out and turns out the germiest place in the hotel lobby is the elevator button.
It's the elevator button. Chris takes the cake on this one, everybody. See what else we're talking about. Daybreak Plus every Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Meet us there. Come hang out. It's a lot of fun.
See that. You can check out, but you can never leave. Is that how it goes?
Yes.
It's from the Eagles, yeah. I've been to that hotel, by the way.
All right, you can catch Daybreak Plus on the free Fox 31 Plus app. Download it for free on Fire TV, Apple TV, Roku, and now on Samsung TVs. All right, now we're once again partnering with the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to give away a brand new home.
That's right. For only $100 a ticket, you could win this 5-bedroom Green Valley Ranch home and help fight childhood cancer. So this year's home is 2,600 square feet with 3.5 baths and an oversized garage. If you do buy your ticket on Thursday, that's August 21st, you are eligible to win a $10,000 family vacation package. This is all courtesy of International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. You can see from the countdown clock right here on your screen when tickets officially go on sale. If you're interested in more information, you can head to our website, kdvr.com/St. Jude, and remember to buy your tickets this Thursday.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in to the Fox 31 News at 3 o'clock. The news continues next with a lot more to get to at 3:30. Stay right there.